carry capacity. But the big story this evening, there is more turbulence in the Indian aviation industry. Last week it was go first, and now SpiceJet finds itself in the bankruptcy court. An aircraft lessor of SpiceJet is taking the company to the NCLT over unpaid dues, and the case will now be heard on the 17th of May. Meanwhile, separately, Go First, which had voluntarily filed for bankruptcy protection last week, is now seeking an urgent order on moratorium as lessors have moved in to try and repossess aircraft they filed with the regulator, that is the DGCA. Let's also take a closer look into SpiceJet's business and how the airline is coping with its latest challenges. Just last week, SpiceJet had said it was working on reviving grounded planes with the help of the emergency credit that it got via the ECLGS scheme that the government had put on the table. Madeeha and Ashmit stand by with a quick health check of the airline. Madeeha, to you first. Take us through where SpiceJet finds itself, and does it have enough to be able to fly through the current turbulence?
Well, let me straight get to the airline's performance, and I will refer to the latest available data from the DGCA. SpiceJet's market share has been shrinking every month. From 7.5% in November last year, SpiceJet now stands at 6.4% in March. This market share is much lower than 10.6% in January 2022. The airline's on-time performance has also taken a hit in March. It fell to 63.6, which is the second last spot, the last one being Go First. SpiceJet's debt has also seen a sharp rise. The airline's total debt has jumped to nearly 8,200 crore rupees as of September 2022. But things looked hopeful when SpiceJet reported a profit of 110 crore in the third quarter of FY23, which was a big jump from 42 crore in the same quarter in FY22. Now let's talk about SpiceJet's fleet, which is the key component of an airline's business. SpiceJet says it has 76 planes, of which 25 planes are on ground, mostly due to supply chain issues. Now, important to note here that majority of SpiceJet's planes are on lease, so clearing lessors' dues becomes crucial here. Last month, the largest lessor, Carlyle Aviation, converted $100 million worth of outstanding dues into equity. While speaking to CNBC-TV18 in March, SpiceJet CEO Ajay Singh had said the airline is exploring debt conversion option with other lessors as well, but right now we don't have much clarity on how much money the airline owes to lessors or other operational creditors, but we will continue to find more on the outstanding dues and where the airline stands in terms of payments.
Madeeha, many thanks for joining us. In fact, staying with that story, Ashmit is here now with what transpired at the NCLT today. Ashmit, take us through what happened at the NCLT with respect to SpiceJet.
Well, to begin with SpiceJet, the concern that has been expressed is by an aircraft lessor by the name of Air Castle, an Irish-based lessor. The concern they've expressed is on account of unpaid dues, and on the back of that, they've moved a Section 9 application, which is to seek a CIRP process to be initiated, a bankruptcy process to be initiated with respect to SpiceJet, the airline. This would be fresh concern. They have been facing concerns on the likes of creditors such as Credit Suisse. They've reached some form of settlement with them. That has been going on in the background. Now we also have an aircraft lessor moving the NCLT. Importantly, the NCLT, number one, has agreed to hear this application, and number two, has issued a notice to the airline. The airline has about a week's time to come back with a response on whether or not there is some form of settlement, there is some form of resolution, whether there is any scope for adjustment between the lessor on one hand and the airline on the other. And within a week's time, they'll have to give their clarity. The reason being that May 17th, which is Tuesday of next week, is when the NCLT will resume hearing in this case, and will begin to expect more clarity from both sides, from not just the lessor, but also the airline. May 17th, a key date there for SpiceJet.